Prime Minister Skerrit to address CARICOM US Summit on competitiveness, renewable energy and security. Local producers and exporters learn how to expand their market share. And the DAT recognizes retired educators. I'm Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details coming up.
Juicy, drink today. Juicy, same great taste. Juicy, original drink. It's an island thing.
Get your red and banana,
Pineapple, juicy cola,
orange or apple,
juicy for you
and for your neighbor.
It's an island thing. Enjoy it juicy, the original island thing.
Juicy!
I love family traditions, don't you? The fun you have when you're all together, preparing a meal that you'll all enjoy. Having the right kitchen appliances help bring it all together. And you can find them at Quartz. Appliances that give you more, fridges that keep food fresher, stoves that cook meals better. At Quartz, you get the world's best brands at the best prices. I love that, and you will too. For small and large kitchen appliances, Quartz, bringing value home.
Have you paid your mapping bill? The 10th of the month is disconnection. Upon disconnection, visit Mapping's main office. You will be required to pay off your balance and the reconnection fee. Reconnections will be done within 72 hours. So, avoid getting disconnected. Pay your mapping bill on time, because life is better with mapping.
First up in the news, energy security and a cleaner, more diverse and more sustainable energy future for the Caribbean. These are among the main discussion points for the United States during its meeting with regional leaders in Jamaica on Thursday. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, already in Jamaica for the CARICOM US meeting, will meet Mr. Obama at the regional center at UWI Mona. Mr. Skerrit will address the summit on competitiveness, prosperity, renewable energy and security.
There are three major areas of focus for that meeting. There are going to be discussions on competitiveness and trade, on renewable energy, and of course on security. Prime Minister Skerrit is leading CARICOM's response on the Obama initiative on renewable energy. Of course, that meeting is being co-chaired by President Obama and the current chairman of the CARICOM region, and that is the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Honorable Perry Christie.
Following his summit with regional leaders, President Obama is expected to have a town hall meeting with young leaders from across the Caribbean. The Honorable Minister for Housing, Reginald Austrie, will act as Prime Minister in Mr. Skerrit's absence. Well, there is no point having Dominica sign trade agreements if local producers on the ground do not know what's in those agreements and how they can take advantage of the benefits included in them. That was the reason behind a seminar Wednesday which brought together agriculture producers, hucksters and representatives of the OECS Commission, Commonwealth Secretariat, European Union and the Government of Dominica. At that seminar, participants were given a walkthrough of key provisions of trade agreements such as the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA, and how they stand to benefit.
For example, if you are into the production of, let's say, solar water heaters and you do not know the import requirement on the other side, you cannot produce to meet that specification so that you can export, and when your item arrives on the other end, it is acceptable as a proper product to be imported into that particular country. We are dealing with the European Economic Union under the EPA, and because, as you recognize, we are between Martinique and Guadeloupe, so we are positioned between two countries of Europe. So the potential exporters must understand for their particular product what are the requirements on the other side. Because trade agreements are framework agreements, and there are rules and regulations governing which you have access to the other person's market. So if you have a framework, you know to know what the rules are in taking advantage of that framework which is in place. And therefore it is so critical that you need to understand those provisions in very much a detail that is specific to your particular product. So if you understand, then in your production process, in your packaging, in your labeling, you can position yourself to ensure that that item meets the requirements on the importing country.
The Honorable Minister for Commerce and Enterprise Development outlined how government was creating the enabling environment to position the small business sector to take advantage of overseas markets.
As regards issues of production and marketing, our Dominican Labour Party government has been making serious investments in agriculture and fishing in terms of ensuring access to finance and providing support to the farming community. For example, within my own ministry, we do have access to finance, to small grants. The government provides technical assistance, inputs, planting materials, and you would have heard of the banana plantlets which just came in, and support to horticulture as well as to hucksters. We are also about to purchase a refrigerated shipping vessel. The Dominican Labour Party is making good on its commitment articulated in the manifesto and Dominica's growth and social protection strategy.
It was noted that while there are millions of potential customers in Martinique and Guadeloupe, for example, local exporters must know the rules in order to tap into those markets, which are governed by European Union standards.
We have built the pack houses. Now I just took a paper to cabinet yesterday so we can get the money to buy the equipment. Some of the equipment has to do with the hot water treatment for mangoes so that we can get away from the weevils problem so that our mangoes can enter those markets in the quality that the market want them. Other equipment like the packing and the sorting, the weighing equipment, so that we can get those pack houses up and running so that the farmer doesn't have to worry about going to the huckster to sell his produce and having to wait for 2 weeks for them to come back and tell him, okay, the sun was hot, so the yams got burnt, the dashing stay in the hatch too long, so he couldn't sell it, the plantains turned black, so they couldn't sell it. You can have the confidence that you can concentrate on production, you bring it to the pack houses, and you in turn, the hucksters and the business people, can go to the pack houses and ensure that you get the produce in the quantity and the quality at which you require it.
In other major developments, staff of the Ministry of Agriculture were busy Wednesday preparing and transplanting 20,000 banana plantlets received from France. These plants represent the first batch of an expected 60,000 banana plants to be used as part of the management of Black Sigatoka and developing a sustainable action plan for the banana and plantain subsectors. The Banana Accompanying Measures, or BAM, funded by the EU's 10th EDF project, has funded the first phase of the rehabilitation effort. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fair Trade and DAPEX are collaborating in this effort. Channel 5 News visited the smart greenhouse at 1 Mile on Wednesday.
We have approximately 30 individuals from the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit, Extension, Fair Trade, Windfresh, taking the plants from the plantlet stage in a nutrient agar, putting it into a fungicide application, and then what we are doing, we are transplanting it into seedling trays with ProMixer made there so it can grow into a plant. And these plantlets will stay in this facility, and we have to thank the Chinese mission that they have provided this space and free technician to assist us in the replanting and the whole growing of the plantlets. So this greenhouse is a smart greenhouse, as we said. It is regulated in terms of temperature and irrigation, so they will provide all that technical assistance in terms of the greenhouse, the space and all the irrigation. We are very thankful also the team leader of the Portsmouth agricultural region, the foreman, everybody is involved in that process, in the first phase of growing the plantlets into a plant. We anticipate that these plants will stay 4 to 6 weeks in this facility, and from that we will harden them outside in the greenhouses that you are seeing, and they will remain in the hardening stage about 4 to 6 weeks, and we anticipate, if everything goes well, farmers will receive the first set of 20 plants, say like the second week of June.
And still in agriculture, a technical specialist warns Dominicans against turning their backs on developing the agriculture industry.
Dominica has been said to be embracing the tourism industry as its main income earner since there's been a decline in performance of the agriculture industry. St. Lucian Julius Polius, a former permanent secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture in St. Lucia, says despite challenges, there is still a lot of potential in agriculture.
No, you cannot forget agriculture. It would be a major error for any country to forget about agriculture. People have to be fed. And for me, your security as far as food is concerned is critical. You cannot wait for somebody else to feed you, so we need to pursue agriculture. The same way, in all of these small islands, I would advocate that agriculture needs to be given greater priority than it is being given now. And when you look at who's involved in agriculture, it's a substantial portion of the population involved in agriculture directly or indirectly.
Polius is here to assess the island's feeder routes. He says based on his interaction with farmers, they are very much interested in the agriculture industry.
You go by the market I went there Saturday morning, the quantity and quality of food that you see, it's amazing. So there is a huge potential. I mean, there are issues of finance. I mean, it's always difficult for producers to get credit and things of that nature. We have other issues to do with climate change and declining fertility of soils and a number of things that you need to address. But agriculture has to continue as a major factor in the development of a country.
In other news now, 4 retired educators have been awarded for their contribution to the teaching service.
Government Minister Lady Catherine Daniel is among 4 women recognized by the Dominica Association of Teachers during its AGM on Wednesday. She retired as the CXC registrar last year to enter politics. Before that, she taught at the primary school level and also attended Teachers College and Nursing School. Another awardee, Adeline Dubois David, is the longest serving educator in the batch of awardees. She retired in January after teaching for 40 years. David says she would like to see greater access for physically challenged children at schools.
They should not be deprived of an education. I think we should include all children into the normal school. Just that you would have to, there are certain things you would have to put in place for them. For example, you probably need to have ramps. Probably need to have the classrooms probably on the ground floor, you know, that type of thing, you know. And so maybe have additional teachers, because if you have one teacher teaching an entire class, it's very difficult for her, you know, to deal with children with different challenges.
Meantime, Sylvie Guy says she is grateful for her 38 years of service at the St. Martin's Primary School. She retired from teaching 6 months ago.
Although when I started, we had our role was so much larger, you know, because I've taught as many as 50 students when I started, and then when I left, we had gone down to 30-something. But it was much easier teaching then when I started than now. To me, there is a lack of discipline. The students are so distracted right now that it makes teaching a bit more difficult. I can only teach as well, and I think parents have to do more, you know, much more to mold in their children so the children can be so much more receptive in the classroom.
The other awardee, Yvette Stedman, was not present to receive her award.
Meantime, former President of Dominica, His Excellency Eliud Williams, has called for the formulation of education policies to complement access to quality education. Williams delivered on the theme Policy Making Processes, the role of the classroom teacher. He has over 25 years of experience in policy planning and analysis. He believes teachers should play a role in decision-making to aid education reform.
I believe it will be readily agreed that one of the fundamental requirements of any modern society is the right of access to quality education. Therefore, in the context of our political and economic environment, Dominica, like other developing states, must develop specific education policies aimed at realizing the right to education for every child. The policies must be so targeted to ensure the provision of education throughout childhood, ensure the quality of education, and that it's delivered within learning environments that are respectful of the rights of our children.
Williams has proposed that government and education stakeholders invest in infrastructure to create the avenue for high-quality education.
It is therefore left for you as teachers, through the collective of your union, to continuously seek ways to bring to the attention of government, and the minister is here today, and he's backed up by another minister who will support him in cabinet, to continuously seek ways to bring to the attention of government and other key stakeholders in education the need to draw on the expertise, qualifications, and experiences of teachers in policy-making processes. This can be achieved through panel discussions and meetings with parents and ministry officials where policies can be reviewed and evaluated. Teachers can also seek representation on boards of governors, ministerial committees, national councils, and structured meetings with policy planners, policy analysts, and decision makers.
You are watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, the Minister for Education extends an invitation to the DAT. We'll explain why.
When life moves fast, you need something to keep up with you. That's why you need the MyLime app. Remember the days of lining up to top up your phone? Well, not anymore. Now you can top up to start talking the night away. How about those pesky bills for postpaid? If you'd like to look at your entire bill, press download. Do you have that friend that always spams you for phone credit? Let's send them some credit. Need to post your selfies online? How about getting a data bolt on? Using the MyLime app takes less than 10 seconds. Now go forth and text, WhatsApp, and watch videos. My life, my way, MyLime.
Fresher foods? Bold flavors? More time. Get it all with appliances from Quartz. Purchase any appliance $999 and over. You can be a weekly winner of $200 US cash. Plus, purchase any Mabe appliance and win $11,000 in prizes of your choice. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and pay absolutely nothing for 60 days. So find the solutions for your kitchen and laundry only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Thank you for staying with us. The Minister for Education, I should say, has opened the door to the executive of the Dominica Association of Teachers to meet with him to discuss the future of the education sector. St. Jean says it's an opportunity for the educators to bring other issues to government other than salary increases. He addressed the Dominica Association of Teachers' 18th Annual General Meeting Wednesday.
In that spirit, the government and indeed the Ministry of Education would welcome a periodic engagement of its officials with the DAT, where the agenda items are not about wages and other conditions of work. Important as these are, the way is open for discussions on substantive issues about where we want to take education in this age of globalization, free markets, security threats that are becoming borderless, and how we should go about this.
St. Jean has told the DAT that its objectives are in sync with government's No Child Left Behind education policy.
I have not heard any voice critical of this policy. It may be that there is discomfort with some aspects of how the policy is being implemented. If indeed this is the case, then the ministry and government would welcome a formal submission from your professional body along with proposed recommendations.
In more news now, the band manager of Triple K International is considering a break from performing at local activities following a recent shooting incident.
The Easter Monday shooting incident at Makushiri, which left Elio Edwards dead, has left a bitter taste in the mouth of band manager Emil Diputa.
And to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I will be speaking to the band, but we're going to really cool out on these activities for now, because, I mean, no matter what you do, it's like something always has to put a damper on it. We have to try to see what we can do about that. And for now, I'm not interested in really doing anything locally.
Diputa addressed the topic of the band's performances on island. He says he is disturbed by the increased level of aggression in Dominica. Diputa says this negative stigma does not follow the band to regional and international events, so this is where they will perform. You
have, like for instance, we do St. Thomas Carnival all the time, and then there are incidents, not at Triple K, but St. Thomas Carnival, you'll hear of the gunshots and different things like that. Antigua Carnival, you'll hear of the gunshots. So everywhere has the messed up situation. The band is touring extensively, and then you do not have these incidents. I'm not saying those islands are free of these incidents, but it is unfortunate when you have an event like that with so many people gathered, that somebody would want to come to that particular place and, you know, so to speak, take somebody out. It's really, really unfortunate. It is really sad. I would like to, you know, sympathize with the family, because no matter what, you know, people would always have things to say.
Diputa says he intends to meet with the authorities to address the issue of security at events, and until then, he is not encouraged to host any more local events.
For some reason, there seems to be some problem in the society, and as I said, I know people want to blame Triple K, but my dear people, it is beyond Triple K, right? And we have to start to think about that.
That's news, your sporting highlights, next. $30,000 is being provided to the Dominica Special Olympic Committee in preparation for the Special Olympics World Championship in Los Angeles this year. Wednesday, telecommunications company Digicel presented a $10,000 check to the organization, with central government committing a further $20,000 to assist a 9-member delegation in time for the July 25 to August 2 games.
Indeed, this morning is a very historic occasion, and I must hasten to add that Digicel, since its inception on Dominica, have assisted us tremendously in helping us, our special athletes, to take part in sports, to demonstrate their courage and to experience joy.
Minister responsible for sports, Justin Achal, spoke at the handing over ceremony.
The government of Dominica, again, is giving its full support to you in preparation for your travel to the Special Olympics, and we will this time double what Digicel is now giving you. I want to say to you, the Prime Minister has given approval of $20,000 to assist the Special Olympians in preparation for their trip to Los Angeles.
5 athletes will represent Dominica along with their coaches, and the public is asked to support through various fundraising drives. In football, 2 foreign officials are on the island to empower referees here to improve the quality of football on the island. 25 referees are expected to participate in yet another FIFA referees training course set for April 8 to 12. The program will serve as a refresher for senior referees, but also equip new participants with knowledge and skills relevant to their field.
During the course, participants will be exposed to interpretations regarding to the laws of the game, as well as practical and theoretical sessions. A fitness test will also be conducted. The course will be facilitated by FIFA instructors Denmar Roberts and Kelsha Antoine of Antigua and Barbuda, and will be assisted by local instructors Carlisle John Baptist, Daniel Leslie and Steve Samuel.
Meanwhile, Dominica went down to St. Vincent Tuesday 1-0 in their first 2015 Windward Islands Women's Football Tournament encounter. In an earlier match, Grenada and St. Lucia fought to a 2-2 finish. Both games played at Victoria Park, St. Vincent. Dominica takes on Grenada Thursday and St. Lucia on Saturday. In cricket, the West Indies versus England 3-match test series bowl off next Monday at Sir Viv Richards Cricket Ground, and confidence seems to be bursting at both camps. England continued their preparations this week for the first match due on April 13, with 2 practice matches against the St. Kitts International 11, drawing the first game and bowling off the second on Wednesday at Warner Park, St. Kitts. Meanwhile, the West Indies continue their training under the guidance of new head coach Phil Simmons. The Windies returning opening batsman Craig Brathwaite feels his team can edge out their competitor. He told ICB Media on Monday his spirits high coming out of a successful regional first-class season and international series against South Africa last year.
Well, obviously looking forward to this home series against England. Obviously England's a tough opposition, so you got to work hard. And in terms of my form, coming from first class, we're feeling quite confident, and just about to keep believing in myself and to carry that into this series.
And the dream of 2 sports enthusiasts here could decide whether Dominica latches on to table tennis like it has other sports. President of Sports Aid Dominica and Senior Sports Officer Andy Burkhardt, along with his partner Chris Roserens through Mission Straub, a subset of Sport Aid, officially spun out Dominica's first outdoor table tennis court at Benjamin's Park on Tuesday. Burkhardt says that his dream is to have courts of this kind established all around the island.
This was a dream. I saw that in Switzerland when I was around, it was about 10 years ago, when we saw them in parks similar to here. And Chris and I said, wow, that is what we need in Dominica. We don't have covered indoor facilities. We have some table tennis tables in the schools, but at the end of the day, it's a few players that can play during school time. And when the doors are closed at 4 o'clock, what happens? There's no table. So, dream come true, thanks to Mission Straub. And they raised funds in a matter of 2 to 3 months. We exchanged ideas, and one idea was this, and we went for it. And look, it's standing here now. I think that is worthwhile. And I hope it will not be the only one in Dominica. The plan, my dream, is that every community in Dominica will have a table like that. And then I think we reach the purpose that is there.
Mayor of Portsmouth Titus Francis noted that the addition to Benjamin's Park is a welcome initiative for the youth of the northern town. Burkhardt and Roserens, through their sports aid links with Switzerland, are seeking further support from the Swiss ambassador and the sports division to continue the project. And that's all the sporting highlights. You can join us tomorrow. Your weather report is coming up next.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I'm your presenter, Vernie Master Honoré. Earlier satellite imagery showed some low-level clouds which moved across the central and southern portions of the chain today, resulting in partly cloudy to cloudy skies across Dominica. And apart from the early morning shower, radar imagery indicated scattered showers across the islands to the south of Dominica. Approximately 4 millimeters of rainfall was recorded at the Douglas Charles Airport, while just about 1 millimeter was recorded at the Kingfield Airport. Tonight's weather is expected to be partly cloudy and breezy with some scattered showers. And tomorrow, the weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with some scattered showers. Sea conditions tomorrow: moderate in open water with waves up to 7 feet. And looking ahead, increased cloudiness and shower activity can be expected Friday into Saturday. Persons in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks, you are asked to be vigilant. And across the region tomorrow, weak instability will result in occasional cloudiness and scattered showers across the islands to the north of the chain, while cloudy skies and scattered showers can be expected across the islands to the south. And on the international scene tomorrow, overcast skies can be expected in New York, partly cloudy skies in Miami and Caracas, and clear skies in London and Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:55 a.m. and will set at 6:19 p.m. For further information, visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for joining us this evening. Have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. Prime Minister Skerrit to address CARICOM US Summit on Competitiveness, Renewable Energy and Security. Local producers and exporters learn how to expand their market share, and the DAT recognizes retired educators. You can send your questions and comments to news@mhappin2k4.com. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you very much for joining us.